We continue now at the top of Daf Kofheim and Beis in Mesechet Yevamos. This is Yevamos Daf 105b. The Gemara says, Amar Rav Yehuda Amar Rav. Rav Yehuda says in the name of Rav, Zu Divrei Ravi Meir. Our Mishnah follows the opinion of Ravi Meir. Rashi over here says, Zu Divrei Ravi Meir, De Amar B'hoisha Rabba Asu Chalitzas Ben Tesha Keget Begadol. He's the one that says that the Chalitza, even of a 9-year-old, even of a boy who is a minor, is considered like a get that is given by an adult, that is given by a Gadol. Aval Chachamim Amar, but the Chachamim say they disagree with our Mishnah, and they would say, Ein chalitzas katan klum. The chalitza of a katan, of a minor, is not considered anything. Rashi over here says, Aval chachamim omrim depligi oleh hasam v'yamri asu bias bentes k'maimer begadol. They say that the bia, the relations of a 9-year-old, is considered like a mimer of an adult. Aval b'chalitza lo svir lekavasi. When it comes to the chalitza, they don't hold like that. They hold ein chalitzas katan klum. They hold that the chalitza of a katan has no effect whatsoever. Afilu lepos all of it doesn't even create a disqualification for the woman to do yibum. In other words, our Mishnah says that when it comes to the chalitza of a katan, it does create at least a disqualification. The woman is no longer allowed to do yibum. But according to the chachamim, the chalitza of a katan is nothing, and it creates no disqualification whatsoever. And we should just note over here that even according to the opinion of Rabbi Meir, that the chalitza of a katan disqualifies her from the brothers, of course the chalitza of a katan will not be good enough to permit her to marry outside of the family. And the Gemara continues at the two dots. The Mishnah said, Ketana shecholza v'chulu. Let's say you have a ketana, meaning a woman who is a minor, a girl who is a minor who does the chalitza. So then the chalitza is not going to be good. Amar Rav Yehuda Amar Rav. So Rav Yehuda says in the name of Rav, Zu Divrei Rabbi Meir. Again, the Mishnah over here, this is the opinion of Rabbi Meir. To Amar Ish Kasu B'Parsha, he says that when it talks about chalitza, it uses the word Ish, implying an adult man. Umakshin on Ish al Ish, and we compare the woman to the man as well. The woman must also be an adult. But Rav continues, Aval Chachamim Omer, but the Chachamim say, Ish Ksiv B'Parsha, it says in the Pasuk, Ish, meaning by the man has to be an adult, but Isha Ben Gedola Ben Ketana. When it comes to the woman who's involved in Chalitza, she can be either an adult or she can be a minor. Either way it will work. And the Gemara continues, Man Chachamim, who is this Chachamim? Who is the opinion, the Tana that holds that by a woman, even a minor is able to do Chalitza? Rabbi Yossi. The Gemara says it is the opinion of Rabbi Yossi, and the Gemara brings the following story. Rabbi Chia Rabbi Shimon bar Rebbe, because Rabbi Chia and Rabbi Shimon, the son of Rebbe, Havayasvi, they were sitting. Pasachan minayu v'amar. So one of them said as follows. When one is davening, so the person needs to direct his eyes towards the earth. Shenemar, like the pasuk says, "V'hayu einai v'libi sham kol hayam." It talks about the fact that in Eretz Yisrael, that the eyes and the heart of HaKadosh Baruch Hu is going to always be in Eretz Yisrael. So therefore, you have to direct your eyes towards the earth, meaning towards the ground of Eretz Yisrael. V'chad amar einav lamala. The other one says no. When a person is davening, his eyes should be directed upward. Shenemar, like the pasuk says, "Niso livavenu el kapayim." It says we turn to HaKadosh Baruch Hu b'shamayim. We turn our hearts towards the heavens. So Adahachi Yasser Rabbi Yishmael b'Rabbi Yossi l'gabayo. So while they were discussing this, so Rabbi Yishmael b'Rabbi Yossi, he came by them. Amar luhu, so he said to them, so b'mayaski, so what are you talking about? Amru lei, so they said back to him, b'tfila, we're talking about this issue of tfila. We want to know where a person should direct his eyes during his davening. So Amar Luhu, he said to them, Kach Amar Abba, so says my father. This is Rabbi Yishmael talking, and he's quoting his father, Rabbi Yossi. He says, so says my father, Rabbi Yossi, HaMispalel tzarech sheyitein einov lamata. When a person is davening, he should direct his eyes downwards towards the earth. V'libo lamala, but his heart should be directed towards Shamayim, towards the heavens. Kedei sheyaskaimu shnei mikros halalu, and in that way you can fulfill both of these psukim. Adahachi, so in the meantime, also Rebbe Lemesifta, so Rebbe came to the base matter, she came to the yeshiva. So Inu Dahavu Kalili, so they were lightweight, they were able to move quickly. So Yasiva B'Duchtayu, they quickly went to sit in their places when Rebbe was coming in. Rabbi Yishmael b'Rabbi Yossi, but Rabbi Yishmael b'Rabbi Yossi, Agav Yukre, because he was heavier, so have a mifsa v'azil, so he was walking slowly to get to his seat. So Amar le Avdan, so Avdan said to him, now Avdan was the attendant of Rebbe, so he said to Rabbi Yishmael b'Rabbi Yossi, Mihuzeh, who is this individual? Shemefasei al Rosh Yam Kadosh, who's walking over the heads of the holy nation, meaning everyone else is seated, and he's walking over them, it's not appropriate. So Amar Lei, so he said back to him, meaning Rabbi Yishmael b'Rabbi Yossi said back to Avdon, Ani Yishmael b'Rabbi Yossi, I am Yishmael, the son of Rabbi Yossi, Shabasi lilmod Torah mi Rebbe, and I have come to learn Torah from Rebbe. Amar Lei, so he said to him, Mechiyata hagun lilmod Torah mi Rebbe, are you good enough, are you fit enough to learn Torah from Rebbe? Amar lei, so he said to him, V'chi Moshe hayahagan lilmod Torah mipei agavura. Do you think Moshe Rabbeinu was fit enough to learn Torah from HaKadosh Baruch Hu? So Amar lei, so he said back to him, V'chi Moshe ata, are you Moshe Rabbeinu? Amar lei, so he said back to him, V'chi Rabcha Elokim hu, but is your Rebbe, is he God? Amar Rav Yosef said, Shakle Rebbe limitarfase. At this moment, Rebbe actually took a punishment. He took a punishment for the fact that he was quiet and he didn't defend Rabbi Yishmael bar Rabbi Yossi during this entire discussion. Because Rabbi Yishmael bar Rabbi Yossi, he called him your Rebbe, he didn't call him my Rebbe. So that was like an insult to Rebbe, and it was like a punishment for the fact that Rebbe did not intervene in this whole situation. And the Gemara continues, Adahachi, in the meantime, Asya Yevamot the Rebbe, a Yevamot came in front of Rebbe. Amar le Rebbe la'avdan. So Rebbe said to Avdan, poke bodka, go and inspect her, go make sure she has reached the age of maturity, she's an adult, and we can do chalitza. Levazar de nafak. Now after he went out, Amar le Rebbe Shmuel. So Rebbe Shmuel said to Rebbe, Kach Amar Abba, so says my father. Now this is a reference to Rebbe Yossi. The whole reason we're bringing this story is to see Rebbe Yossi's opinion. So says my father Rebbe Yossi, Ish kasav parsha. By chalitza talks about Ish, Avalisha, but when it comes to a woman, bein gedol bein ketana, it doesn't matter if she's an adult, it doesn't matter if she's a minor. In other words, it's not necessary for you to send out Abdon to inspect and to make sure she's an adult. It doesn't matter if she is a minor. So Amar le, so he said to him, Ta come lo tzricht, we don't need you. Meaning Rebbe said to Abdon, come back, we don't need you to do any inspection. Kvar hora zaken, the elder has already taught the halacha, meaning to say we see that the halacha is bein gedola bein ketana. So kamifsa Abdon v'yasi. So now Abdon, he was the one stepping over everyone and coming. So Amar le Rabbi Yishmael bar Rabbi Yossi. Now Rabbi Yishmael bar Rabbi Yossi said to him, Mishat tzarich lo am kadosh yifsal rashi am kadosh. The person who is needed, who is required by the holy nation, he can step over the heads of the holy nation. But Misha ein tzarich lo am kadosh. But somebody who is not needed by the holy nation, meaning you're not necessary anymore. We don't need you to check her because I've already explained that it doesn't matter if she's a minor. So hey yifsal rashi am kadosh. So how could he step over the heads of the holy nation? Amar le Rebbe la'Abdon. So then Rebbe said to Abdon, Kum beduchtech, go stay in your spot. Don't walk any further. You shouldn't step over everybody. Tana was taught, Ba'os Hashah, at that moment, Nitztara Abdon. Abdon got saras. V'tavu shnei bonav, and his two sons they drowned. Umianu shtei kalosav, and his two sister-in-laws who were minors. That was a marriage to minors. They refused the marriage. They did miyun. And the Gemara continues, Amar Rav Nachman bar Yitzchak, Rav Nachman bar Yitzchak says, Brich Rachmona, the Chasvei la'Abdon, Baruch Hashem, that Abdon was embarrassed, B'hayolm, in this world, meaning to say he took his punishment in this world, and it didn't happen in the next world. Amar Rabbi Ami says, Midvarav shel Berebi nilmod, from the words of Berebi, that's a reference to, it's an honorific title for Rabbi Yossi. From the words of Rabbi Yossi we learn, Ketana choletzas b'peutos, a ketana, a girl who's a minor, can even do chalitza at the age of peutos, that is a very young age. We'll see Rashi in a moment. Rava says, no, she at least has to arrive at the age where she can understand and she can do nedarim, she can do oaths. We'll see Rashi also. But the halacha, says the Gemara, that she has to actually have two hairs, meaning to say she has to reach maturity. And Rashi over here says, Nitztare Avdan, so Avdan got saras. Rashi explains own shosha lashon hara negoim. It's the punishment for lashon hara. Avdan was speaking bad, and therefore he got these negoim. He got saras. Midvarav shel Berebi. Who's Berebi? That's Rabbi Yossi. Called Berebi lashon adam gadol. Anytime it says Berebi, it's a way of saying a great person. Ketana choletzes b'shehi kepeutos. Even when she's only the age of the peutos. What's the peutos? Kebar shis, kebar sheva. Meaning if she's just 6 or 7 years old. The Tanan Mesechet Gittin, like we learned in Mesechet Gittin, ha peutos mechon mekach umemkaran memkar b'metaltal. And the peutos, meaning these children who are just 6 or 7, if they have sails, those sails are going to be considered effective by movable objects. Hilkach, therefore, linyan chalitza, when it comes to chalitza as well, hoel v'loksiv miut kesheira mishi beperak hazeh yodas mad lahavchen. As long as she has some understanding, that is enough for chalitza. And Rashi continues, the other opinion is laonas nedarim. She at least has to reach the age of onas nedarim, which is shana achas kodem l'zman shtei saros. That's actually 1 year before adulthood, before maturity. Kedetanan beperak yotzei dofen bas achas esrei shana v'yom echad. When a girl is 11 years old in one day, so nedareh allowed nivdakim. So then, if she takes an oath, we can inspect and see if she understands it. Im yodas l'shem minadra v'ikdisha devarak hayam. And if she understands what it is that she said, so then we say that her oath is effective. So he says she has to reach that particular age. But finally, the Gemara says no, she actually has to reach adulthood for the chalitza to be good. And the Gemara continues at the two dots. The Mishnah said chalza b'shnayim v'chulu. Let's say she does chalitza, and there are just two judges there. So there was a pair of tanoim in the Mishnah that says that it's still effective. And so the Gemara says, Amar Rav Yosef bar Menyume, Amar Rav Nachman. Rav Yosef bar Menyume says in the name of Rav Nachman, Ein halacha ka'oso azug. The halacha is not like that pair of tanoim. Rather, you need three judges for the chalitza to be effective. Gemara says, "V'amar Rav Nachman chodazim." The din Rav Nachman already say this. The Amar Rav Yosef bar Menyume, Amar Rav Nachman, because Rav Yosef bar Menyume said in the name of Rav Nachman, chalitza b'shlosha, that when you do chalitza, you have to have three judges. So it seems to be the exact same statement from Rav Nachman two times. And so the Gemara says, we need both statements from Rav Nachman. Because if we only had the first statement, I would think that's only true lechatchila, meaning lechatchila in the first place, you need to have three judges. But after the fact, afilu trei. So even if you have two judges, maybe b'di'evet, that would be good. So kamash malon in halacha kosu azug. That's what Rav Nachman is saying. The halacha is not like that pair, meaning to say even b'di'evet, it's not going to be okay. V'yashmi'inon in halacha kosu azug. Now, if we said that the halacha is not like that pair, ela ketanakama, rather the halacha is like the tanakama, hava mina di'evet. I would think that b'di'evet, the halacha is like the tanakama, meaning if you use three judges, it's only good after the fact. Aval lechatchila, but maybe lechatchila liboy chamisha. We saw another opinion that you need five judges for chalitza. Maybe lechatchila you need five judges. So tzricha. So that's why we need both statements of Rav Nachman to say that both lechatchila and b'di'evet it is three judges. The Gemara continues at the two dots. Ma'isa shecholzu v'chulu. There was a case where there was a chalitza beino leveino. It was done in private, and the Mishnah said that Rabbi Akiva said that was effective. So the Gemara says beino leveino miyodan. If it was done in private, how do we know that it was done properly? Where are the edim to testify that it was done properly? And the Gemara says, Amar Rav Yudah Amar Shmuel. Rav Yudah says in the name of Shmuel, ve'edim roen osomi b'chutz. There were edim that saw what was going on from the outside, and therefore they can testify, they can verify that the chalitza was done properly. And the Gemara continues, we have the following question. Ma'isa shecholzu beino leveino avroi, uva ma'isa levnei Rabbi Akiva bebeis asur. And how do you read the Mishnah? Did the incident happen where the chalitza was done privately? Did it happen somewhere else, outside of the prison? And the Mishnah is saying that the incident came before Rabbi Akiva while Rabbi Akiva was in prison, and that's when he ruled on the incident. O Dilmer, maybe you read the Mishnah as follows. Ma'isa shecholzu beino leveino bebeis asurin. The story happened that there was a chalitza done between him and her, meaning done in private, and that story happened in the prison. And the Gemara says, Amar Rav Yudah Amar Rav. Rav Yudah says in the name of Rav, Bebeis Ha'asurin Hayamaisa Uleveis Ha'asurin Bamaisa. Actually, both are true. The incident happened in the Beis Ha'asurin, the incident happened in the prison, and also when the issue came before Rabbi Akiva, he happened to be in prison. And we'll continue with this discussion in the next video on Daf Vav Amud Aleph.